know what the thesis is.
Wait,
Are you
what?
kidding?
What do you disagree with? So
Oh
I
my god,
give
he
a
doesn't know what the
counter
thesis is.
argument to
This
the
shit is
point.
so fucking funny.
It states what I don't
Wait,
agree
wait,
with,
you actually don't know what
so
the
that
thesis is.
you can debate on
Oh
that
my
specific
days.
point.
Whoa, you don't know what the thesis is.
Oh,
This shit is so funny. What the hell? Oh
what
my
the
god.
hell, man? What the hell?
Bro, state your fucking thesis, man. This shit is so funny.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm asking you a simple question, bro. What the fuck is your nerdy ass yapping about? I'm
Are you
asking you a
fucking dumb?
question.
Before we can continue to debate, we have to hear your premise. Are you
Yes,
retarded?
I'm stating. Yes, I'm asking what point in which
Wait, wait,
the
wait. Did
video
you
are
just say
you
yes to me asking
disagreeing
you if
with?
you're retarded? Are
You
you being
said the
serious right
takes
now?
were
So
good.
you are retarded. Okay, okay.
Some
That's
of
all
the
I needed
points
to know.
I
That's
may
all I
agree
needed to
with,
know.
but most
State your premise, little nigga.
not. You are
State your
so
fucking
stupid.
premise, little nigga. Bro, what the hell?
Wakanda sounding
Bro,
motherfucker.
state
What
your
the fuck
premise,
are
little
you
nigga. This shit
saying?
is so fucking funny.
I can barely understand you. You sound like a monkey, bro. What the fuck are you even saying? I
That sounds
say,
like a
give
you
me
problem, little
points.
nigga. It's not my
Oh, you
fault you can't understand basic English. Like, what
sound
the
like
fuck?
Black Panther, bro. Shut the fuck
I asked this
up.
nigga, is he
You
retarded?
sound
And
like
he
one of
said
them
yes.
Wakanda
What the hell, my
motherfuckers,
guy?
bro.
Bro, you are so
Give me
what
a
the fuck?
question. I'm asking a question.
Bro, answer my question.
You
State your
literally,
premise.
you,
What is your
bro.
premise?
Okay, so I disagree with multiple points within a specific video I replied to. I'm saying I disagree with I can pull up I guess the points if we're gonna go point by point. I was questioning because we were vague. We didn't specify points in which the video was describing. Some I may agree with, some I may not. That's why I'm trying to figure out what points because you're insinuating all the points were good. So I'm trying to figure out which specific ones you are actually agreeing with.
Okay, good boy.
Ooh,
Now you're
ooh,
getting
monkey,
somewhere. Now you're
monkey,
getting
it click,
somewhere.
it click,
Good boy.
it click.
Now,
Is it
now, would
real?
you agree? Do
It,
you agree that
I'm
the
monkey.
main
It
point
click.
of
Did it
that
click?
video? Nah,
Did
shush,
it
little nigga,
click?
shush.
Did
Would
it
do you
click?
agree that
Did
the
it
main
click?
point of that video? Do you agree that the main point? Yeah, like good bitch, shut the fuck up. Would do you agree that the main point of that video was the creator of the video trying to state that Gojo, like without prep time, without experience from the prison realm, would be able to defeat a full form Heian sukuna from 1,000 years ago? And do you also want to agree that the video was basically just like points by points, just a like what the fuck? Do you agree? Let me just give it to you like this. Do you agree that that video was practically just saying that base Gojo, without prep from the prison realm, would be able to beat 1,000-year-old Sukuna? Do you agree what that video was about? Hello? Oh yeah, I muted this nigga. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You put me in a nerdy server so you can mute your opponent to try to give an advantage over a debate.
Nah,
Wow,
nigga, this is
that's
the
what
exact
yeah.
reason I added you to a
Wow.
server because you're
So
retarded.
yes,
Like, bro,
that is what I agree
shut
with.
the fuck
I
up.
will let you
Like,
so
I
you can
asked this
mute me.
nigga, are you retarded? He said yes. Like, bro, shut the fuck up and talk. Do you agree that the main point of that video was that Gojo, without experience from the prison realm, can defeat Heian Sukuna from 1,000 years
Yes,
ago? Do you
yes,
agree?
yes, yes.
Okay, like stop saying yes like a retard. What the fuck? Okay, so if
Well,
you
you're
do
calling
agree,
yourself a
if you
retard.
do, you do understand the fact that you agreeing to that means you have just agreed to the whole point of the video, meaning
What?
you have
I'm
conceded to
agreeing to the
whatever
premise.
argument
I'm
I was
agreeing
going to
to the
have.
question. I'm saying I don't believe that to be the case.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
agreeing that that's the main point
that
of the
is your
video.
present.
That the
So
question
your
is
hey,
like
little nigga, shut the
fucking
fuck up.
monkey.
Your premise is based. So basically, like in the simplest like idea, is this
Hey,
nigga
bro.
retarded? Like, shut the fuck up. I'm talking.
You
Like,
can't even
don't talk
speak.
over me.
You're barely English.
Like, bro, what is this Indian nigga saying? I'm speaking better
Dude,
English
what
than
the
you.
fuck are you saying? I don't
Okay,
even
anyways,
understand
shush,
your
shush,
English.
shush,
What the
shush, little nigga,
shit?
shush, little nigga. Anyways, so basically, what you're saying is that my premise. Let me just state my premise. My premise is that I agree with the points made in the video that Gojo, without prep time from the prison realm, would be able to defeat Heian Era Sukuna from 1,000 years ago. Do you agree to that? Yes or no?
No, I do not agree with that.
Oh my God. Okay, good,
Hence
good. I
why
thought you
we're
were gonna be
debating.
I thought you were gonna be one of those niggas
Hence why
that
we're
get trapped by
debating,
basic premise trap. Okay, good little nigga. So state your premise then.
man. So I'm stating that Sukuna from a high Nair Sukuna can defeat a Gojo without the knowledge of the spirit that allowed him to shrink his domain, the prison realm.
Okay, can you give any justification to why you think that?
I'm saying Gojo couldn't. Well, okay. For one, for him to be able to defeat him, he'd be able to beat. The video is specifically specifying he'd have to beat Sukuna or damage him, but before that time, so that's what he'd have to do. With it shrunk and with the condition switched, it gave a 3-minute timer. Gojo couldn't beat. He could only tie with a Meguna, not using domain application, relying on the 10 shadows, and just in an inferior form, as in less hand-to-hand combat skills. And he was only able to tie with him. So why is he going to be able to beat a Sukuna in his superior form, being able to freely use domain application, and I don't know, being able to target the inside of the domain with a shorter timer?
Well, first of all, it's weird that you're trying to make the claim that Meguna was timed with Gojo in hand-to-hand combats during the domain clash, which is so dumb because it's clearly shown and stated by the characters who are watching this battle that within the 3 minutes that Gojo is able to shrink down his domain, he can damage Sukuna far more than Sukuna can damage Gojo. It's stated that Gojo's domain expansion will break down in a total of 3 minutes. Sukuna's domain can last longer than that, but if Gojo is able to deal enough damage in those 3 minutes, Sukuna will be forced to deactivate his domain.
You
So
just
by this
you're just
logic,
explaining the specifics of the class.
by this logic, Gojo therefore outscales Sukuna in the domain clashes. So you are going to have to justify. And remember the fact that Meguna only had knowledge about unlimited void due to having Yuji's memories. If
Yes, I
Meguna
know,
from
but
if Sukuna from 1,000 years ago was to face off against Gojo, he probably won't see any need to open his domain against Gojo. Do you agree to this?
okay, yes, but you just explained, you just specified. I'm talking. You just specified like the things about the class. I'm saying a Gojo, whether he's superior in combat within the domain. I'm saying there's multiple reasons for this. One, obviously, Sukuna can't touch him only through domain application, while Gojo can freely use his limitless. And I'm saying a Meguna, whether Gojo had the advantage or not, was still able to tie with Gojo, as in right his domain broke his, so Sukuna was able to get to the 3-minute timer, and Gojo was able to damage him simultaneously. This is an instant within that time. So I'm saying if Meguna can tie it on a 3-minute timer, why can a Hainera Sukuna, who's more advantageous, not pass a whatever timer would be with just the switched limits, which is less than 3 minutes?
What? Don't.
What?
It
Do you
seems
not
like you're
understand
not.
that?
It seems like you're not understanding what I was
Attack
trying to
the
say.
point. Attack the point.
What I was trying to say was that Meguna, which can you agree that Meguna is stronger than Heianera Sukuna?
No. I mean, no. What do you mean? Why would he be stronger? There's different attributes to different characters. I mean, I'm saying him in his Hainera form is obviously not only gonna have like a hand-to-hand combat advantage, he's gonna have better defense and offense, but Meguna, the one that fought Gojo, was severely limited in the way.
Wait. First off, you would have to justify that just because Heianera Sukuna has like extra arms, that he will be able to match Gojo in terms of hand-to-hand combat, or
Okay,
have an
so one,
advantage in
I can
terms of
justify
hand-to-hand
this right.
combat.
Would you like me to justify that right now?
Yeah, justify that right now.
Okay, so one, as we clearly see in the fight, there's no giant. People think there's a huge gap between Gojo and Meguna in hand-to-hand combat throughout their fight, which your friends can pull up right now, or you could pull up as your fact. Sukuna in least hand-to-hand combat used it 4 times. Within those 4 times, he landed 3 hits while Gojo landed one. The Gojo landing a bunch of hits on someone who's not using domain amplification, and then they can't hit back, and their defense is not going to be as good because that's what you use. You grab limbs. That's how you defend, by going on the offense too. Isn't mean his hand-to-hand combat is so superior. He's beating on someone who's simply trying to mitigate and block damage, who can't really attack back. So as we've seen, the 4 instances in which he used domain amplification, he's able to either completely counter Gojo and actually beat him in more instances. So no, if
Well,
a Meguna is, if at bare minimum equal to Gojo, if not a little bit better, then a Sukuna with forearms, which we've clearly seen is advantageous in hand-to-hand combat, as it allows him to go on the offensive and defense at the same time. Allows him to hit you twice. We've seen this with Kashimo and Yuji. The second Sukuna gained his forearms, he completely was overwhelming Yuji, and he had to pop a domain expansion. to try to insinuate having his forearms wouldn't be advantageous and boost his hand-to-hand combat is disingenuous. So if a Meguna is equal to, if not a little bit better, him with the forearms is going to be even better, especially when now, because he's not taking the burden of adaptation, he can use domain application the entire time. Not only does that mean he negates way more damage, but it also means he can actually punch Gojo and fight back the entire time. That's why.
Well, actually, I would have to disagree with that for multiple reasons. Because you make it sound as if Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification. Let's use this as an example. Sukuna, before he started evidently using Maoraga to adapt to, why the fuck did this nigga just leave the call? So, what do you call this nigga? Sukuna, before he evidently started using Maoraga to adapt to Limitless, Sukuna was using domain amplification at every point during the fights to bypass Gojo's Limitless. Do you agree to this?
Wait, from which point? You're saying the very beginning, that interval hand-to-hand combat exchange they
Not the
had?
very beginning where they were just trading hands. Actually, no, you could make the argument that in the very beginning, Sukuna was using domain amplification.
He was, but he just wasn't birding anything, so it didn't matter. I'm saying throughout the entire fight, Gojo states, even Sukuna states, besides the first instance when Gojo landed one punch, that Sukuna did not use domain amplification within the domains. That's why Sukuna said it too at the last, after Gojo.
When was that ever stated? When was that ever stated? Because it's stated by the characters who are watching the fights, that it's stated by the characters that it's so impressive that Sukuna is able to use domain amplification within his domain at the exact same time.
Okay, so
for you to then.
So actually, no, you're wrong. The people watching Kusakabe and all of them, they didn't know what was going on within the domains. That's why when Yuta clashed with Sukuna and Gojo's body, he got punched and off guard. Was like, what? He can bypass Gojo's Limitless. They didn't know. Maybe his crows couldn't see within. What you're thinking, you're getting confused. You're thinking of Gojo. Gojo stated that. Gojo said on their, I think it was their second or third clash when they were fighting, Gojo stated, they went into hand-to-hand combat, which I can put the picture in the chat, and they went in exchange, and then Sukuna punched him in the face. He said, wait, Sukuna, you can use domain amplification within the domain. They did not know. No one on the outside party knew whether or not Sukuna was using it within the domain. We later have statements by either Gojo and Sukuna saying himself that he didn't use domain amplification within the domains. He only used in that one instance, because it would be birding. When he uses domain amplification, it turns his wheel black and it interrupts the adaptation process.
Yeah, it interrupts the adaptation process. I will probably agree to that point, but the arguments that you're trying to make in general, I can't agree to that, because you're trying to make it sound as if Sukuna, within every other domain clash after that, it is very evidently shown that Sukuna is able to make contact with Gojo within their domain clash.
Where? You just said it. We know for a fact. Why would Gojo's Infinity not work within his own domain? We know that as a fact, that it can't work unless Sukuna nullifies with domain amplification. Why would it magically not work? If Sukuna ever made contact with Gojo...
Are you not understanding what I am trying to say? I am trying to say that in these instances, I am trying to say that in these instances, Sukuna is using domain amplification.
Yes, but his wheel is not black, meaning he's not.
His wheel wasn't active during those domain clashes. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you yapping about? The wheel from Maoraga wasn't active during any of their domain clashes.
We literally have a verbatim statement.
The statement from Sukuna saying he wasn't fully built up after their domain clashes. What are you saying?
Dude, how about you actually send a picture and show exactly what you're specifying?
Oh my fucking God. Okay, calm down.
Exactly saying he wasn't using domain amplification within it. You want to see why? Because it nullifies Maharaga's ability. So he even
bro. I need you to pull up a picture right now showing Sukuna,
Hey,
using Maoraga's will during any point between him and Gojo's domain clash. I need
hold
you to pull
on.
it up right now.
Okay, go to the manga right now on the third clash
Oh
after
my
the second
days.
clash of the
Oh
break.
my god.
When they both go flying out, his wheel is above his head. You actual peon.
That was after their domain clash. Are you slow?
Because it's on within the domain, and then once the domain breaks, he still has it.
Oh
What
my
are you
lord.
talking about? You're
You are
just
so
lying.
sped. Okay, let me pull
You're
up
just
some random
lying.
images.
Wow, look how stupid you're about to look when I pull this up. You're actually
Actually,
so dumb.
pull up pictures to prove your point right
You're
now. Pull
actually
up
so
evidence right now.
stupid. You're
Pull
actually
up evidence
stupid.
right now. Or else I'm gonna disregard what you're saying because it's obvious you don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
well, who's been right so far on actually what happened, bro?
Bro, you have just been
Oh,
yapping.
okay,
Pull
I'll show
up
you.
a
No, no, no,
picture
no,
right
no, no,
now
I'll
to
show you, bro.
justify
I'll show
your
you.
claim.
Because you're so smart, bro. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, while I'm looking for this picture, please explain me
Mhm.
if he was using domain application within the domain, how Maharaga was already adapted to Infinite Void.
Oh my fucking days. Oh my days.
How?
Bro, using domain amplification. Yes, using domain amplification fucking negates Maoraga's ability to
Yeah, how?
adapt. That does not mean that that does not mean that Sukuna was using domain amplification. Oh my fucking days.
You know how fucking stupid you sound. You don't even know what you're saying, bro.
Okay, bro, pull up a picture right now proving
You
that
don't even know
Sukuna had
what you're
Maoraga's will active during the domain clash. I want to see
saying.
it. Because bro
Mm.
has just been yapping for like past minute or so.
You were already, bro. You went like 2 points into the thing. You were already completely wrong about the statement within like
I
whether they could
haven't
see
been wrong
what
about
God.
anything. The only thing
Already
I
wrong.
was even
You're
wrong about
already wrong. You
was
were
the
already
characters being
wrong.
able to view into their domain. And
Already
yet again,
wrong.
I am not even wrong about that because I am literally looking at a picture right now where it shows them looking into Sukuna and Gojo's domain clash.
Wait,
Even let me
no,
pull that
bro.
shit up right now.
Bro, are you
Shush,
stupid?
let
Wait
me
a minute.
pull
Wait
that
a
shit
minute. Wait
up.
a minute.
Let me pull it
Wait a
up.
minute. Is
Nah,
that what you thought?
nah, little bro.
Wait, no,
Let
no,
me
no.
pull
Hold
that
on.
shit
Hold on.
up. Let me pull
The
it up. Let
wheel
me pull it up.
itself
Let
doesn't.
me pull
Are
it
you stupid?
up.
Are you
Let
stupid?
me
Wait a
pull it
minute.
up. I am not listening to this. Let me pull that shit up.
Bro, I actually thought you were smarter. I thought you were arguing on a different point. The reason the wheel's not on his head is because he's burdening the adaptation on Megami's soul, you
Oh
moron.
my god. What I am
That's
asking
why
you to
once the
prove
domain
right
clash
now is
breaks,
that Sukuna
he's
was
not.
using
That's why the
Maoraga.
wheel is now above him.
That Sukuna's will was evident during their domain clash. Show that to me
Are
now.
you stupid?
That's the whole basis of your
Listen,
argument.
listen,
That's
you
the basis of
Wakanda
your
motherfucker.
argument.
You Wakanda
Oh my, what are
motherfucker.
you talking
You
about?
Wakanda motherfucker, you monkey! Listen to what I'm saying.
Bro,
His
show me
wheel
evidence.
isn't
Show me
above his
evidence. You're
head
just yapping at
because
this point.
the wheel
Come
is
on,
the burden
show
of
me
adaptation
evidence.
is on Megami's
Show
soul.
me
You
evidence of this
idiot!
happening. Because you're saying
Counter.
things that never happened.
Oh my god! The fact that I actually have to pull this up for you is
Show
embarrassing.
evidence, my guy.
Wait for Gojo after he realizes. After he realizes what connection he makes. Oh,
Send
let's see. Let's see, you
evidence, my
stupid
guy.
fucking
This is
monkey.
the whole
You stupid
basis of your
Wakanda
argument.
motherfucker.
If you can't send
Gojo,
evidence
I'll
for
show
it,
you, man.
then I am going to disregard it. Send
Disregard it. You were wrong
evidence.
2 seconds in, you fucking idiot.
Oh my God. Okay, let's assume I was wrong, which I'm not. Let's assume I
Assume.
was wrong.
Yes or no?
Show me evidence. You are
Yo, hey,
backtracking, my
what's this
guy.
picture?
What the fuck?
What's this picture I'm posting in the chat? You fucking
Oh my
Wakanda
God.
monkey? You
Bro,
Wakanda
send
stain
the
monkey?
evidence.
Look
I
at
am
this shit.
not doing this with you.
Hey,
Send
go to
the
the debate
evidence to
thing. Hey,
prove
go
your
to the debate thing.
argument. This is the
Go to the
whole
debate thing.
basis for
Go to the
your
debate chat.
argument.
Go to the debate
Bro,
chat. He's putting
okay,
the
I'm in debate
adaptation
chat.
on Megami's
I am
soul.
in
You
debate chat right now, my
moron.
nigga.
His sure hit is
Oh
tatted
my
on
days.
Gojo's shirt.
Oh my
That's why
days.
his wheel's
You are
not on.
actually retarded.
You
You are
idiot.
actually retarded.
You
You are
idiot.
actually
You
sped. You
idiot.
are genuinely
Idiot.
sped.
What
You the fuck.
idiot?
Okay, should I break this down for you? Should I break this
Say
down for you?
something. Say something, you Wakanda
Should
motherfucker.
I
You're not
break this down
saying
for you?
shit.
Should I break this down for you?
You're like, holy shit, Wahali, Wahali, Wahali,
Should I break this
Wahali,
down for you, my
Wahali,
nigga? Why are you vexed? Let me break this shit down for you. Let me break this shit down for you. Because at this point you're just yapping. This fucking image you just sent is literally from them after their domain clash. Do you want to know what domain clash that fucking was, you retard? The domain clash where Sukuna actually got hit by unlimited void. Oh my god, that is crazy. I wonder why Sukuna's adaptation of Unlimited Void would have been completed after he got hit by Unlimited Void. You fucking retard. What the fuck are you yapping about? You idiots. Like, like, bro, I told you, provide me evidence of Sukuna having Mahoraga's wheel over his head during their domain clash. And what do you show me? A picture of Megumi having Mahoraga's wheel over his head after the domain clash had happened and after Mahoraga had already adapted to Unlimited World. You slow fuck. Look at you. Like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I muted you. I completely forgot I did that.
Wow. Oh yeah, you have to mute people because you can't have an intellectual debate. Oh, yo, guess what?
Bro,
I'm
don't use
not.
your Indian accent.
Bro,
Talk with
listen,
like
listen,
talk
listen,
normally,
listen.
please. Bro,
Can you not be quiet for
disprove what
one
I just said. Disprove
replicating
what I
you?
just said.
You sound
Because
like
I
you
asked you to
fucking train
provide
with
me
flashbacks.
evidence of
You sound
Sukuna
like an
using
Indonesian.
Maharaga's wheel above
So
his
be
head
quiet for five
during their
seconds so
domain
I can
clash.
give my
This
counter
nigga,
argument.
nigga, show
You are
me a
completely
picture
dumb.
of Megumi
You
Soul
can't stop
adapting to
talking.
Unlimited Void
You're going to stop
after
talking.
Sukuna had lost
Are
the
you
domain
going to
clash.
stop
That's
talking?
crazy.
Or you going to stop talking? Are you going to
Bro,
stop talking? Are
talk,
you going to keep
defend your
rambling?
points because at this point you're just
Are you
yapping.
going to keep rambling like an angry monkey?
Bro,
Or are you
you are
going to
not
let
saying
me give a
anything coherent.
counterpoint? You
Talk,
cannot.
defend
Well,
your points.
you're saying the wheel has to be in above his head, showing that he's adapting within the domain. He can't put the adaptation. If he puts the adaptation on his soul and Megumi's, he's still being hit by the sure hit. His sure hit is countering Gojo's, but then he is putting the wheel on Megumi's soul. That's why it's not
It's
above his
not
head.
what we were
The
talking
wheel
about.
that
What you
has to be
said,
above
you
his head.
idiot. What you said is that Sukuna was using Maharaga's wheel
Just
during Gojo and
on
Sukuna's
Megumi's
domain clash.
soul.
You idiot. That was your claim, and I'm
That's what
telling
you
you,
give a proof.
prove that claim. Prove it.
What do you mean
Because
prove it?
you
Take a
said
picture of
that
your
during
pen, you
Gojo and
fucking
Sukuna
idiot.
that you said during Gojo and Sukuna's domain clash, Sukuna's Marago will went black whenever Sukuna used domain application. Prove that shit. Prove it.
What do you mean prove it? I just sent. Hold on. What do you ask me
You
to
didn't prove
specifically
anything.
prove?
You did not prove that. Are you
You
spent?
couldn't counter my point, and now you're just rambling like some fucking ape, going prove
I
it,
am
prove it.
countering your point because I'm asking you to prove what you said. Prove the basis of your argumentation.
It's in the chat, the debate chat. I put the
Oh
picture in
my
there.
god. That doesn't prove anything.
What do you mean? It says it on the page. What's
You
happening?
said, shut the fuck up. You
You're just
said,
saying
you
it's not
said that
true because
during
you don't
Gojo
want
and
it.
Sukuna's domain clash,
Right there.
Maharaga's
Tell you
view
why it's
went
not
black
true.
whenever
Take
Sukuna was using domain amplification. If that is true, you to show me evidence of Sukuna
You didn't
using
just click right
Maharaga's
there. Is that
view
why you went quiet?
during Gojo. She's not using it. It is meant to be his adapted, which is
Monarch,
done
when
for.
he's
Oh
outside the
my god.
domain, he's burdening the adaptation because he cannot afford to be hit by infinite unlimited void, meaning the wheel is
What
above
does that
his
matter
head.
to the
So when he
argument?
uses domain
Oh
amplification,
my fucking
the wheel
god.
turns black. But when they're clashing, his wheel of the
Show
adaptation is
me
burdened
evidence of
on
that happening during the
Megami.
domain clash.
What?
Oh my god. Are you
You're just
scared?
repeating yourself. Tell me why my point is wrong, you stupid ape.
Because you didn't say anything new.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Oh my
I
fucking god.
explained why
Oh
the
my
wheel isn't above
god.
his head, and then you're like, oh, but the wheel.
Why did I waste my time debating a TikTok nigga? My guy, your claim, because I made a claim stating that Sukuna was using domain amplification at every point during the domain clash. You stated that that is not true because if Sukuna was using domain amplification, the wheel above his head would go black. And I'm stating that Sukuna never had a wheel from Maraga above his head to go black. This only happened after the domain clashes when they could no longer use their domains. This bitch nigga left. Look at you. Look at you. As I was saying before,
Listen,
send me justification
okay.
for what your claim. Your claim was that Sukuna's wheel turned black whenever he was using domain amplification against Gojo during their domain clash. Is that true? Do you agree to
Uh,
that?
okay, so it depends. I'm saying his wheel in itself, yes, turns black when he used domain amplification because it nullifies and fit. It just shows that it's nullifying the adaptation. But I'm saying you're trying to specify, oh, well, his wheel wasn't there, let alone not black during the domain clashes, meaning he wasn't using 10 shadows, meaning he could use domain amplification. I'm stating the reason the wheel isn't above his head isn't because he's not using the 10 shadows technique. It's because, as previously stated in the image, he's placing the adaptation on Megami Soul while blocking his sure hit. He's letting the sure hit Megami Soul, so he's he's taking the burden and adapting, while his soul is protected by his sure hit effect. That's why he doesn't have the wheel on his head while they're clashing. That's why when the clash breaks, his wheel is there again.
Okay, so first off, that's not what I was saying at all. Like, that's not what I'm trying to claim. What I am trying to claim is that you state that whenever like Sukuna uses domain amplification, the wheel will turn black. Okay, so you are trying to use that as evidence to why Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification. But what I am trying to say is that we can't be sure of this because we never see it. You can't claim something is happening when we don't see it happen within the manga itself. I am not trying to state that Sukuna wasn't using the 10 shadows because once again, we don't know when he was using it or when he wasn't using it. All we were able to see like after the domain clash has ended was that Sukuna had put the burden of adaptation onto Megumi. And this was after Sukuna took the direct force of unlimited void after she lost a domain clash. So what I'm asking you to prove and justify is how the wheel turning black during the domain clash would somehow be able to prove the fact that Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification. And I'm also asking you to prove how you are somehow able to deduce the fact that the wheel was turning black and how you are able to use that to say that Sukuna was using domain amplification. Wasn't using
Okay,
domain
so
amplification, sorry.
you're just using I don't know, say red herring, but you're misrepresenting my argument. I didn't say domain amplification, the wheel turning black, was in proof that he wasn't using it within the domain. I was simply stating that we know when he was outside of the domain and they were using hand-to-hand combat, that's when we know Sukuna was using it or when he wasn't using it. So I was simply just implying the 4 times in which we saw the wheel turn black and he was able to touch Gojo and strike back, he was able to land a hit on Gojo, proving his superiority in hand-to-hand combat. It never was applicable to the domain argument. My argument for that, you're trying to state like those two are like I'm trying to use those as like continuous, like I'm trying to like apply them both. No, I'm saying Sukuna, as we know he wasn't using domain amplification via his literal statements in Gojo statements. Sukuna literally said that at the end of the fight. And we also know that the only way Maharaga could have possibly adapted is because he was using the 10 shadows and allowed it as Infinite Void was hitting him. That's why Maharaga was instantly adapted. If he was using domain amplification most of the time or the entire time, he would have died in Infinite Void because Maharaga wouldn't have been adapted. My proof, we do know, is because you can go right now and Sukuna states, I wasn't using domain amplification within the domains, and it proved worth it because when he did get stuck in Infinite Void, he was already adapted and he was able to get bailed out. That's why.
Okay, so you're kind of misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
In your original points, you stated that Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification in his domain clash with Gojo. Is that correct? Am I understanding you?
I said for the most part, I stated he used domain amplification
Okay.
one time at the beginning of the fight to land a hit in the first. I think it was it was the third clash. That's when we first see him use domain amplification. We then later get statements saying that he didn't use domain amplification so it could adapt.
Okay, so two things. One, because in the beginning you agreed, you blatantly said that Gojo was using Infinity within the domain clash. Is that correct?
Yes, he was.
Okay. So, in order for Sukuna to bypass the limitless, because in each of the domain clashes, we get confirmation that yes, they were having hand to hand combat. So if Sukuna, like stick with me now, if Sukuna was able to make contact with Gojo during these domain clashes, then logically that means that he had to have been bypassing Limitless through some shape, way, or form. Logically, at this point, we know that Sukuna only has one way of bypassing the Limitless, either to like exhaust Gojo's like curse technique or to use domain amplification. And since we know that they were taking part in a active domain clash during this time where they were able to regenerate their burnt out curse techniques, then that means the only logical way that Sukuna could have been making contact with Gojo during these physical altercations was to use domain amplifications. This was the point I brought up earlier.
Hey,
You then say,
this
well,
well, I'm sorry. It was this is completely different from we were arguing whether the wheel and whether in fact whether he's using the adaptation and stuff. You're saying now that there is
sorry,
no
sorry.
oh, listen, there's no statement
Stop.
saying they were engaging in fist-to-fist combats. You need to show this. It's stating that Gojo was the better fighter in the domain. We know this because Sukuna is just
It's
on the
wait,
defense.
what? It stated what? It stated what?
There is no statement saying it's saying they were fighting within the domain. But show me a statement where
But there are
specifically says
okay,
Sukuna punched back.
hold up. Let me pull this. You can continue what you're saying.
So you're saying, oh, so we don't know. All we know is that we see even when we actually see partially within the domain. On the fourth clash that Sukuna is not punching back at Gojo and he's just running away and playing on the defensive this entire time as Gojo throws him out with blue and then uses red to damage him enough to knock him out of the domain. You can, like I don't know what are you talking about. You cannot have two truths at the same time. Maharaga cannot be adapted. Sukuna also stated he didn't use domain. Well, hold on. Why do I just pull that image up? I don't know why we have a verbatim statement. Yeah, where do I send the picture? Do I just send in the debate chat or
Send
I
it to
send
the
it?
bits.
All right. He literally verbatim states he's not using domain application within the domain. He
But that's not
verbatim.
true because Gojo
Just look at the
literally
picture.
states
Look at the
that
picture. I don't care about a counter argument. Look at the picture.
I'm about to send in something that debunks you. So like I don't know why you're
Look,
saying you don't
just
care about the
look
counter
at
arguments.
the picture. It's a verbatim statement.
My nigga, I am getting scanned. Will you cool the fuck out? Like slow down. I don't know why you're getting so pressed.
I'm saying this point is already over. We already have Sukuna. Unless now you have to now substantiate that Sukuna not only lied, but Maharaga just adapted magically.
Oh my. Well, first off, let me send my scan before I tackle yours. Let me send in my scan before I tackle yours. So first off, right here, Gojo states, and unless you want to disagree with Gojo here, Gojo states that Sukuna had no choice but to use domain amplification in order to beat his limitless technique. Right here, I don't know why you cut out the remainder of what Sukuna was saying as if you're trying to hide something. But Sukuna says, while not using domain amplification, meaning when he was not using domain amplification, he was using the 10 shadows technique. That means there were periods in the fight where Sukuna was not using domain amplification. And Gojo literally stated here that Sukuna had no choice but to use domain amplification in order to bypass the limitless.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
mean he was using it the entire time. Okay.
sorry,
Oh, talk over me.
you're
Talk
saying
over.
sorry,
Talk over
you are
because
I'm
you're
not talking
wrong.
over you.
You
I'm
speak
not talking over
fallacies.
you.
What are you
I'm
doing
just
right
like
now?
countering
What
your
are you doing right
argument.
now? What
What
are
I
you
am
doing right
saying,
now? I didn't even get
I
my
am
whole
not doing
point.
anything right
You're
now.
doing it right now.
What I'm
Speak in
saying
the
is
room.
that
You
you
speak
can't
in the room.
actually justify that Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification at
No,
every
besides him
point.
stating it. Besides him
She
stating it.
literally said while she wasn't using domain amplification, she was using the 10 shadows technique. That
Yes,
doesn't mean anything. That literally mean that
it
could
says
literally
when
mean
not
okay,
using
no.
amplification
I
in
want you
certain
to
domains.
refute this. I
I
want you to
use
refute
two
this. I
shadows
want you to refute
compatible
this right now. I want you to refute this. What
while
Sukuna is
not
saying, what Sukuna
using
is saying right here,
amplification
because there were
within
points
the
in the fight
domain.
where
I
yes,
use
we see that
two
they were
shadows
not using hand-to-hand combat.
have him.
Bro, can you
As
let
a
me talk?
result, I couldn't
Can
use
you let
first
me talk?
from
Can
whatever's
you
in the
let
domain.
me talk before you move on to your next point? Can you let me talk?
You monkey, you interrupted me
Okay,
first.
thank you.
As you're interrupting me,
I really don't care, bro. You are the one that
so
said I was getting
prove why he's
emotional.
lying. Prove why he's lying.
That's why
Prove why
I
he's
am
lying.
not engaging in this right now. That is an
Prove
ad
why he's
hominem.
lying.
I am not engaging in that. What
Prove why he's
Sukuna
lying.
literally said right here, because you literally pointed out there
Prove
were
why he's
points in the
lying.
fight we
Speaking
could
really
see
fast
that
speaking
Gojo
really
and
fast and a
Sukuna
lot
were not having
incorrect.
hand-to-hand
Later
combat.
going context.
So logically, why wouldn't those be the points in the fight where Sukuna wasn't using domain amplification and was using the 10 shadows to adapt to unlimited void? That debunks your whole argument.
How does it debunk my whole point? You're just
Oh
stating
my god.
it was using both.
I am you aren't
That's
getting this.
simply
I
what
am
you're
using your
stating.
own points against you.
No, you're not. You're just saying,
Oh
oh
my
well,
god.
that means he's just using both. I'm saying it. You were saying that he wasn't using domain amplification,
Oh,
or
that's a
I
red
mean he
herring.
wasn't
I
within the
never said
domain.
she was using
So
both.
then you said he was. No, you said he. No, I'm not
That's not
saying
what I said. We
simultaneously.
have a recording. We can go over
Bro,
it.
I'm not saying you're saying it simultaneously, you monkey. That just went right over your head. I'm
Okay,
saying
bro. Okay,
you
bro.
said he was using domain application within the domains. I said yes,
Mm-hmm.
there's events where we see him, but the whole point of the argument is that
Mm-hmm.
now this is a Sukuna who can use it the entire time. This
Okay,
means
so
Sukuna is only intervallically
you
using
okay? So
domain application.
it seems like sorry
Oh,
to say, it seems like you're not
oh,
tracking what I am
oh,
actually trying to say here.
is
It's
anything
like you
not
can't
tracking
understand my argument.
specific?
What I am trying to say, because in the beginning we
Repeat
were talking
yourself. Yeah,
about
repeat
how
yourself like you haven't repeated yourself the past 5 times.
what are you yapping about? Like, can I talk? You were the
You
one
just
crying a
repeat
few minutes
yourself
ago that I
over
wasn't
that.
allowing you to
You just
talk, even though I
repeat
was. Like, let me talk, little nigga. Anyways, in
well,
the
then
beginning
you're
of the
literally
recording, which we have, which you didn't want me to make, by the way, just stating that for the audience, this nigga didn't want me to get a wreck. So, in the beginning of this recording, we were discussing how I was stating that whenever Sukuna used domain amplification to counter Gojo's Limitless, because whenever Sukuna was using domain amplification to counter Gojo's Limitless, Sukuna wasn't matching Gojo in terms of hand-to-hand combat during those 3 minutes that Sukuna needed to break down Gojo's domain. Right? You stated
but he
that
wasn't
during
using
the
it the whole time. So you're wrong.
broski, my guy, listen to what I'm saying.
How did
Listen to what
Megami
I am saying. You
adapt?
are not tracking. You are
How
red.
did
This is
he
a red.
adapt?
This is a straw man. That is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying.
How did he
What I
adapt?
am saying, shush, shush, shush. What I am saying, what I am saying is that the
Yeah, you say.
points Sukuna was using domain amplification that we can see, like you have been dragging this thing out for so long.
Yeah, did you just say stuck on a point and then just went to a neutral?
What I said
Show
was
me.
the
Show me.
points when
Please show me.
Sukuna was
Show
using
me.
domain amplification, Sukuna was getting washed by Gojo in hand-to-hand
Show
combat.
that.
You had
Show
no
that.
refutations to
Show
that.
that is your burden to prove that. I'm saying we're specifying hand-to-hand combat. We know that I'm stating now with a Sukin in the high air is going to be using domain amplification the entire time, meaning he's only intervallically using domain amplification while using the 10 shadows to adapt for Maharaga. I'm not saying he didn't use domain amplification at all within the fight. You just that just went completely over your head. The whole point is now Heiner, because he's going to be using domain amplification
What are
the
you saying?
entire time.
I
He's
never
going
made
to
a
use the
point
gate
saying that
for attack.
Sukuna was using domain amplification at every point during the fight. What are you yapping about? You're not even understanding what I'm trying to say. You're just yapping.
What is your comprehension, bro?
Like, bro, you can't track. This is so
You
ass.
can track. You just repeat yourself.
I'm repeating myself because it's
I'm
obvious you
saying
can't
Sukuna,
track.
we
What the
know.
hell?
yes or no because you're so dense, bro.
Like
Did
bro, like
Sukuna
bro,
use
like bro, bro,
okay?
bro.
Was Sukuna use
I'm not even gonna press you.
amplification
I'm not even gonna
and a
press you.
mix of the 10
I
shadows within the
legit
domain?
need you.
Yes or no?
I legit
Yes or no?
shush. I
Yes or
legit
no?
need you
Yes or
to. What are you even
yes or
yapping
no?
about?
Listen,
I can't hear
stop.
you.
It's
I
circular.
need
It's
you to
circular.
show.
It's circular. Yes or no?
What the
Yes
fuck are
or
you
no?
yapping about?
Yes
What the
or
fuck are you
no?
yapping about?
Answer
You're
the
saying yes or
question.
no. You haven't asked a
I
question or at
just
least.
You're
I
not being able
never
to answer
stated
no to or.
I never stated that Sukuna was using
Yes
domain amplification
or
the entire time.
no.
What?
Yes
Oh my
or
God, you
no.
are yapping.
Answer it.
What I am saying,
Answer it,
bro,
but
I
you
am not
can't
answering that
because
retarded
now
ass
you're
question.
back into a
Bro,
corner.
what I am
You're
saying is
back
that
into a
whenever
corner.
Sukuna
I
used
will
domain
wait till you say
amplification,
yes or no.
bro, what
You
are you yapping
completely
about?
pivoted.
Like, bro,
You
I
not being
don't
able to give
care.
a yes or no shows you are wrong. Yes or no.
Bro, you're so ass.
Yes or no.
Bro, you can't
Yes or
crack.
no.
You obviously can't.
Yes or no.
This shit is
Every
so
time you
funny.
get put in a
Bro,
corner
bro,
and
it does not matter how many
you
times
say,
you
oh, you
say
can't
yes or
crack,
no. It does not
and you
matter how many
pivot,
times you say yes
and
or
you
no. I'm
repeat
still gonna state my
point
point.
that I've already
What I
explained to
said,
you.
what
Yes
shush, shush, shush. What
yes
I
or
said
no.
was, what I said
Yes
was
or
that
no.
whenever Sukuna used
You
domain
can't answer yes
amplification,
or no.
he
That
was getting
shows
destroyed by
you know
Gojo.
you can't
You are
describe
twisting
it.
my arguments. This is a
You
straw
are
man
wrong.
and a red
No
herring.
one's
You are shifting
twisting
the
it. Say
goalposts.
yes or no. Why cannot you not answer a yes or no question?
Bro,
That just
I'm not
shows
gonna
you
answer that
know
question
you're
because
wrong.
you're just gonna use that to loop
Answer
back to
it.
your arguments. This shit is
Answer
not
it.
going anywhere. You're being circular.
Answer it. And oh, repeat
I'm
what I
not
just said,
gonna
Malik.
answer it, my
Nice
guy.
one. Nice one. You not being able to answer the yes or no shows that you were wrong or you don't want to admit you're being disingenuous. You could say
Bro,
yes
I
or no,
wasn't
you're
wrong.
right. You will
You are
ultimately
very
be right.
clearly, bro,
You
we
just
have been
answer it.
recording. You are
So
very
with your
clearly
yes,
and
yes,
evidently, you
no,
are very clearly and
you are
evidently straw
manipulating.
manning and red herring my
Somehow,
arguments.
somehow,
It is
somehow.
not that deep. It
The
is
only
not
way your
that deep to
argument makes sense
understand, my
is
guy.
you're gonna use
It is not
more
that
than
deep to understand, my guy. It is not
somehow
that deep.
less damage. That's the only way your argument works. If you say no in the third point, but you couldn't even answer it because you know you're wrong. So the whole point
Bro,
now is
what are
Sukuna
you
now
yapping about?
is going to have more damage
That's
negated.
legitimately not my
You
argument.
moron. You moron.
Bro, you're legit not saying anything. You're
Say the
not
yes or
saying
no.
anything.
Say the
You're
yes or
legit
no.
not saying anything.
Say the yes or no. Say the yes or no.
Bro, I am
Yes
not
or
gonna
no.
answer your yes or no question. But
Ah,
even
because you're the moron.
since we're asking yes or no questions, let me ask you one of my own. Do you agree to the fact that my argument was whenever Sukuna was using domain amplification, he was losing to Gojo in hand-to-hand combat or was not able to land any meaningful damage during hand-to-hand combat? Do you agree? Do you agree that that was my argument? Do you agree that was my argument? He left the call. You left the call. Anyways, I'm just gonna call conclusions. So this nigga called Bofa, like that's a crazy name. So this nigga called Bofa, who is currently crying in general, saying I'm an average sand monkey. That is crazy shit right there. Hold up, let me quickly reply. This was the same nigga saying that I was getting emotional, and he just left VC. and left VC. Yeah. Anyways, he left the entire server. He just left the server. This shit is so funny. He left the server. This shit is so fucking funny. He left the server. That shit is so hilarious. Anyhow, though. So yeah, I'm just gonna call conclusions. So he was not able to track the fact he was not able to track the argument at all, since I was stating that whenever Gojo and Sukuna were getting into a domain clash in any shape, way, or form that involved like hand-to-hand combat, Sukuna was using domain amplification to bypass Gojo's infinity. He was not able to track that and kept backtracking back to his previous argument and then strawmanned my argument. He was not able to understand what I was saying. What I was saying was that yes, Sukuna did at times deactivate the 10 shadows as his scan showed, as his scan literally showed, Sukuna literally says, let me repeat what Sukuna says here. Let me repeat what Sukuna says. Sukuna legitimately says, while not using domain amplification inside the domain, I used the 10 shadows technique. That means there were points in the fights that he was not using the 10 shadows. Logically, those are the points in the fights that they were not having hand-to-hand combat. Wow, that's crazy. I then went on to explain to him how yes, I agree to the fact that Sukuna was not using domain amplification throughout the entire fight, which supports my argument. When I then sent scans showing that whenever Sukuna did use domain amplification, he was getting destroyed by Gojo, which was my main point. But this nigga cannot track. So basically, he then cried, left the VC, and that's practically like an auto concession because I'm not adding him back to the VC. Like, that's fucking retarded. Bro is currently crying into the beach. This nigga can't track. What the fuck? Anyways, so yeah, I can logically say that I won this because this nigga is trash. He could not track my arguments. He was using the a straw man and the red herring fallacy, and he could not justify any of his points. And he sent a scan without full context to what was going on within the scan. Like